Tonight, we'll explore what happens when you stop chasing the next thought and begin resting in the space between them. Through gentle practice, you'll see how awareness itself is like a clear sky, steady, open, and untouched by the passing clouds of thought. And as we rest there, you may find that the quiet you've been seeking isn't somewhere else at all. It's right here, in the garden between thoughts. Somewhere within you, beyond the noise of thinking and the pull of the day, there is a quiet garden. Mindfulness traditions call it the space of pure awareness, the open presence that appears when thinking softens. It doesn't exist in time, and yet it opens the moment you stop chasing what comes next. Here, between one thought and the next, awareness rests like soft soil after rain, untouched, waiting, alive. You do not need to travel to reach it, only to pause long enough for its stillness to bloom. Tonight, we will walk there together, with gentle breath and simple steps, and let this garden meet the night ahead. And yet, before sleep, many of us meet a different landscape, the mind that won't power down. Have you noticed how it speeds up the moment you lie down, as if the day grows louder in the dark? You turn off the light, and a new list turns on. What you said, what you didn't say, what might happen tomorrow. It stacks itself neat and tall, right when you hoped for quiet. Most nights the chase begins. A few last scrolls for distraction, one more article, a loop of "how do I calm down" running under the covers. The truth is, it's not about willpower. When the mind senses a demand to sleep, it gears up as if it was given a task, and tasks keep it awake. This is the doing mode that stirs the body, not the being that lets it settle. Watch how effort behaves here. You push for silence. The mind pushes back. It's like pressing a spring. The more you try to pin it, the stronger it rebounds. You don't need to win that tug of war. You can set the rope down. In this way, you step out of striving and allow a different response. Let's try a simple image. Think of a pond. When you stir it to see the bottom, the water clouds. You don't need to nurture the water into clarity. You let it stand. Clarity returns by itself. The mind works in a similar way. When you stop stirring, silt settles. Views clear. This is where gentle attentional training helps. It aligns with mindfulness, paying attention to this moment on purpose, without judgment. When you place soft attention on one steady thing, the body reads that as safety. Autonomic arousal eases, not by force, by a shift in where you rest your attention. Start with a sensory anchor. Notice the weight of the blanket on your body. Feel the pull of gravity, simple and sure. Let your shoulders drop a half inch. Let your tongue rest on the floor of your mouth. Now, hear the soft night sounds. Crickets in the distance, a hint of wind along a wall or window. Let those sounds be your cues. Your system hears them as ordinary and safe. Name what is here without blame. Restless, tight, wired, a little sad. When you name the feeling, the grip loosens. This reflects a core mindfulness principle. Awareness itself is not disturbed by what it notices, whether pleasant or unpleasant. You don't have to solve anything in this moment. You are just noticing. That is a skill. It is also compassion. If thoughts keep stacking, give them a place to be. Say, thinking, then return to the blanket, the breath, the night. This is a simple noting practice. Acknowledge with kindness and come back to your chosen anchor. You are not pushing thoughts away. You are letting them pass. The pond holds rain without losing itself. Here is the turn. Peace is not found by shaping every thought. It lives in what appears when a thought ends. The small pause after a sentence in your mind. The quiet notch after an exhale. That tiny gap is not empty. It is fertile. It breaks the loop that keeps cycling through the same themes. The goal here isn't to force sleep. It's to rest in present moment awareness and allow sleep to arrive when it's ready. In that gap, your body begins to downshift. Heart rate eases a touch. Muscles soften by degrees. Breath spreads out on its own. You don't make this happen. You allow the conditions. The system knows the rest. So, stay close to what is simple. The blanket, the breath, the sounds of night. Name the feeling. Let the spring uncoil by not holding it. Let the pond be still enough to clear. In the small spaces that open, you will start to sense a quiet nearby. Close, understated, and willing to meet you when the mind takes even a short breath. From here, we turn toward naming what we've been sensing so quietly. Naming the garden between thoughts. What if the quiet you seek isn't far away, but right here in the small, unspoken spaces between words in your mind? Not a place to reach, but one that arrives when talk in the head takes a breath. The truth is, you already touch it many times a day. We just don't name it, and so we pass it by. Meditation traditions have long recognized these natural pauses as doorways to deeper awareness, present in ordinary moments and available to anyone willing to notice. Let's give it a name tonight: the garden between thoughts. It isn't a fantasy scene. It's a warm, living space that appears the moment a thought ends and before the next begins. No grand gate, no fanfare. Just a soft clearing that opens on its own when you stop pushing the stream. Across contemplative paths, this is described as awareness itself. Spacious, unchanged by what passes through it. Right away, a voice may say, "I don't notice any gap." That's fair. The mind expects fireworks to prove something is real, but the garden speaks softly. It shows itself the way dusk arrives, quiet, sure, and without hurry. Mindfulness points to these pauses not as rare peaks, but as ordinary access points to presence. So we practice meeting it in a simple way. Listen for one breath. Feel the inhale rise. Now notice the end of the exhale. Don't rush the next inhale. Linger for one beat. Let that beat be unfilled. There, small and clean. You did not make it. You noticed it. Some traditions call this the gap at the end of exhalation. It has been used for centuries as a meditation anchor because it requires no forcing, just gentle attention to what is already happening. Zen likens awareness to a clear sky. Thoughts are birds that cross the view. They move, they call, then they go. The birds do not stain the air. The sky remains open. When you rest as the sky, the flight does not grab you. You allow, and in that allowing, you touch ease. This isn't wishful thinking. Mindfulness teaches us to sense the gap in the stream of thinking, and even a few seconds can widen a sense of peace. In guided practice, Eckhart Tolle points to a space beyond the thinker, noting that a brief gap in the stream of thinking opens a dimension of being where peace and aliveness are felt. His teaching aligns with what many contemplative traditions affirm. Awareness is spacious and unaffected by the content of thoughts. How do you know you're in the garden? Your body tells you first. A small softening in the face. The jaw lets go of its hold. Shoulders ease toward the bed. The eyes settle back in their sockets. Breath spreads out like a slow tide. You feel less need to add the next thought. These are natural signs that the nervous system is shifting toward rest and digest, the mode that supports meditation and healthy sleep. It's about finding your center. If the gap seems too brief, that's fine. Think of a door hinge on a quiet gate. The hinge is small, but it lets the whole door swing. In the same way, a tiny pause lets the whole mind turn toward rest. You don't need a long pause. You need a real one. Simple, brief, repeatable. Let's try another round. Inhale, steady and easy. Exhale, a shade longer. Feel the last ripple of air leave. Rest one beat. If another thought arrives, let it arrive. Then let it pass just as it came. A gentle reminder. You're not shaping the mind. You're observing its rhythm and stepping into the space that rhythm reveals. With practice, this garden feels familiar. Not because it grows louder, but because you lean less on noise to feel okay. You notice the quiet as something alive. And as we give it a name, we also find the gate that opens to it again and again, the breath. So we turn to the simple gate that meets you with every inhale and exhale, the breath. Could one slow breath open a door your busy mind has missed all day? Let's test that now, gently, right where you are. No strain, just care. Breathe in through your nose, steady and smooth. Count to 4 if it helps. Now breathe out a little longer, 5 or 6 beats. Let the breath finish itself. Notice the brief pause at the end. One quiet beat. Don't hold it. Don't shape it. Just notice it arrive and pass. Do that again. Inhale, even and soft. Exhale, longer and looser. Feel the belly fall. Sense the shoulders let go. There's a small empty beat after the air leaves. That's the hinge of the gate. You aren't forcing the door. You're letting it swing. If you start to try too hard, you'll feel it. The breath turns tight. The chest lifts high. The jaw sets. That's your cue to ease off. It's not about perfect numbers. It's about feeling safety. Effort blocks ease, like clenching a fist to hold water. Soften the hand. Let the water rest in your palm. As you breathe, you can use a simple phrase to steady attention. Silently say, breathing in, I know I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know I am breathing out. The words are simple markers. They keep you with what's real, the breath moving now. Here's why the longer out-breath helps. Your body reads it as a sign that things are okay. Extending the exhale activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the body's natural calm response. This parasympathetic response slows heart rate and supports relaxation. In this way, the body shifts toward rest and digest. Heart, gut, and mood hear the same message. Safe enough to soften. Let the room's soundscape join you. Hear the crickets in the distance, each chirp like a metronome. Feel the soft wind at the edge of the night, a hush that doesn't ask for effort. Time your awareness, not your breath, to those sounds. You are syncing with ordinary calm. Now we'll add a slow body scan that follows the breath's pace. This is a body awareness practice found across meditation traditions. You move attention, part by part, to cultivate presence and physical ease. On your next inhale, sense the crown of your head. As you exhale longer, let the scalp loosen. Pause one beat. Inhale to the forehead and eyes. Exhale and let the brow smooth. One quiet beat. Inhale to the cheeks, jaw, and tongue. Exhale longer. Let the tongue rest heavy, the jaw unhook. Pause. Inhale into the neck and throat. Exhale slow. The throat widens, the shoulders settle. Pause. Breathe into the collarbones and chest. Breathe out longer and feel space across the ribs. Pause. Inhale to the upper back. Exhale. Let the muscles melt toward the bed. Pause. Inhale into belly and sides. Exhale longer. Belly soft. Sides loose. Pause. Inhale down to hips and pelvis. Exhale. Weight drops into the mattress. Pause. Inhale to thighs and knees. Exhale longer. They sink. Pause. Inhale to calves and shins. Exhale. A warm release. Pause. Inhale to ankles, soles, and toes. Exhale longer. Feet heavy and safe. Pause. With each longer exhale, the gap grows a heartbeat wider. You don't have to chase it. The gap shows up as the breath finishes, like shore after a wave. One real beat, then another. The garden's edge comes into view. Keep it simple. Breath, pause, notice. If thoughts knock, nod and return to the exhale. If the breath tightens, shorten the count and smooth the edges. Let the body teach you the pace. In meditation, we learn to follow rather than lead, allowing the body's natural wisdom to guide the practice. As breath and pause meet, steps of attention start to steady. The mind shifts from doing to sensing. Without reaching, you begin to walk a path that doesn't require movement. Now we explore the path itself, walking the garden path without moving, using simple steps that keep attention clear and kind. How do you explore a place that appears only when you stop trying to get somewhere? We do it by shifting from doing to noticing. No rush, no goal, just 5 clear steps of attention that repeat like a slow walk you can feel but never need to perform. This mirrors traditional walking meditation adapted for lying down, the same present moment care applied to breath, body, sound, and the quiet between. First step, feel the breath. Let it be natural. Sense where it shows up most, at the nostrils, chest, or belly. Second step, feel the body. The weight where you meet the bed, the steady pull of gravity. Third step, hear the night. Crickets in the distance, a soft wind moving past the room. Fourth step, notice the pause at the end of the exhale. 1 clean beat. Fifth step, rest in that pause. Nothing to add. Then begin again at breath. As you walk these 5 steps, watch what the mind does. It wants to measure. It wants to judge. Am I doing it right? Is this calm enough yet? That urge to evaluate tightens the path. The more you grade the moment, the narrower it feels. Let grading be just one more sound in the night. Give yourself a different task. Meet what shows up and let it pass. Think of thoughts like fireflies in a field. Brief, bright, gone. You don't chase them with a jar. You enjoy the light, then let the dark return. This natural allowing, letting experiences arise and pass without grasping or pushing away, is what meditation traditions call equanimity, a balanced awareness that keeps the path open. Mindfulness is not fixing. It's noticing and returning, again and again. When you notice a thought, name it with one word, thinking, and return to breath. When sound pulls you, name it, hearing, and return. When the jaw softens, note, softening, and rest in the pause. This gentle labeling is a noting practice. It helps you stay aware without getting pulled into the story or content. Simple names release the grip. They mark what is here without building a narrative. Let the garden imagery stay light. Feel soft soil under bare feet, a give that supports without effort. Let a small breeze brush the skin, a hush that does not ask you to chase it. You are not building a scene. You are letting a scene reveal itself as effort fades. If distraction swells, shorten the loop. Just breath and body for a round or two. Then add hearing. Then add the pause. Keep your steps small. Small steps are steady steps. Steady steps widen the path. This is skillful means, working wisely with your real capacity instead of forcing an ideal. Notice how judgment loosens with practice. A thought rises, you nod. A sound comes, you nod. The pause opens, you rest. Each nod adds space. Each return smooths the track. Soon, stillness doesn't feel like stopping. It feels walkable, kind. A gentle reminder, you can't fall behind. There is no finish line here. The moment you notice you've wandered is the exact moment you've returned. That's the whole art. It's about finding your center, not proving a point. Keep the 5 steps alive. Feel breath, feel body, hear night. Notice pause, rest in pause, repeat. With each round, something simple begins to show itself. Quiet, open, not tied to any one sensation. We'll meet that next. Now we turn toward what all those gentle steps have been pointing to. The heart of the garden. Formless presence. What remains when thought goes quiet, but you still feel awake and aware? This is where the heart of the garden shows itself. Not as a picture, not as a sentence, as a simple sense of being here, clear, open, easy to miss if you look for a thing to hold. We can call this formless presence. It's awareness itself. Different traditions name it in their own ways. Pure awareness, consciousness itself, Buddha nature, the steady aspect of mind that remains while experiences change. It doesn't lean on any one thought, sound, or feeling. It holds them all without strain. When you rest in it, you notice how experience moves, and you don't need to move with it. This is not a trance. You are lucid and soft at once. The mind will ask for an object. It wants a focus point or a rule to follow. Presence offers an open field with nothing to grip. That can feel odd at first, like your hands keep reaching for a rail that isn't there. A gentle reminder. The ground is the openness. You can stand on it. Meditation masters call this objectless awareness, attention resting in its own nature rather than on a specific thing. Use a clean image. The sky does not chase clouds. It allows them. Awareness is the sky. Thoughts, moods, and body waves are clouds. Some pass fast. Some hang. The sky does not tighten when a storm forms. It stays sky. Across contemplative paths, this metaphor appears because it points to a simple truth about awareness. It remains unchanged by whatever moves within it. When you rest as the sky, the weather can change, and you remain clear. Zen speaks of form and formless, doing and being. Both are real, both needed. During the day, you act and speak. In the garden, you lean into being. This balance protects your energy. It's not about never thinking. It's about knowing the place that holds thought without being swept. Let's practice for 3 breaths. Rest your attention on the plain sense of being here. No image, no label, just that felt fact. Here. Breath 1, sense here, and let the breath move itself. Breath 2, stay with here, even as a sound or thought arises. Breath 3, widen the sense of here, like space that has room for all of it. Notice what follows. Edges soften. You feel less push to add the next word. The face stays neutral. The chest moves without effort. You can still hear the crickets. You can still feel the bed. But you are not inside the noise. You are the space that includes it. As attention steadies, 2 qualities tend to grow on their own: tranquility and equanimity. Tranquility is the body's ease. Equanimity is the evenness of the mind. These are classic signs of sustained mindfulness, arising not through force, but as awareness settles into its natural state. You might sense a subtle smile in the body, even if the lips don't move. A small warmth at the center of the chest. A wide sense in the back of the head. These are markers, not goals. If they don't show, nothing is wrong. The practice is the same. Rest is here. In this way, sleep stops being a task. It comes like a friend who knows the path to your door. When you slow into formless presence, the system reads the message, safe to release. Effort loosens. Breath lengthens. The natural tide of rest begins to take you. So let's name what follows from here. Sleep as return, not escape. What if sleep isn't a shutdown, but your body's way of slipping back into rhythm? Think of a shoreline. The tide withdraws, then returns without orders or plans. Sleep is that return. It doesn't need chasing. It needs room. Traditional meditation honors these natural cycles instead of imposing goals or timelines. We attune to rhythm rather than command it. Most of us turn sleep into a goal we have to win. We watch the clock, count the hours, push the mind, and then wait for proof that it's working. The truth is, chasing makes sleep step back. Distance grows. Tension builds. The mind hears a task, and tasks keep it alert. There's a gentler way. When you rest in the gap, the small pause after an exhale, the quiet at the edge of a thought, sleep finds you. You don't grab it. You let it arrive. Non-striving recognizes sleep as a natural function that unfolds when we stop forcing. Just as meditation deepens through allowing rather than efforting. In this way, you move with the tide rather than against it. Zen points to non-striving. Effort can block ease, the way squeezing a fist keeps it from holding water. So we soften the hand. We let the water rest. Non-striving doesn't mean you do nothing. It means you do less of what agitates and more of what signals safety. Meditation practices naturally activate the relaxation response, the body's built-in calm system that slows heart rate and supports healthy sleep patterns. Try a brief ritual, 3 cycles. Exhale longer than you inhale. Let the air finish on its own. Notice the 1-beat pause. Sense the garden, simple ease, a hint of soft ground under mind. Add a half smile, not on your face if that feels odd, but in the attitude. A kind tilt. Then repeat. This is skillful means. You create supportive conditions while keeping the non-effortful stance that lets natural rest emerge. If a thought pulls you into a plan or a replay, see it. Name it. Thinking with a warm tone. Don't argue with it. Walk back to the pause at the end of the next breath. That pause is the path. Each return teaches your system. This is the way. You're nudging the relaxation response again and again, quietly and without strain. Now, let your senses help. Feel the blanket's steady weight. Hear the crickets as a light, steady beat. Notice the faint wind along the window. These cues are ordinary. Ordinary is safe. Safe lets the guard step back. The body hears this and starts to release. You might worry you're not doing it right. A gentle reminder, it's not about doing. It's about allowing. You give the conditions, then step aside. The nervous system learns through rhythm and repeat signals. Inhale, exhale longer. Pause, sense the garden. Half smile. 3 cycles, then 3 more if you like, with less effort each time. With each return, you deepen the imprint. Think of walking the same path through soft grass. The first pass is faint. By the 5th, your feet find it without looking. In the same way, your body starts to turn toward rest when it feels that longer exhale and that small, real pause. Notice the signs you're being carried rather than pushing. The jaw releases, the brow smooths, the chest moves without lift. Thoughts slow their pace, like birds at dusk. You didn't stop them. You stopped feeding what kept them bright. So, keep the ritual simple. 3 cycles, longer exhale, 1 clean pause, sense the garden, half smile. If thoughts tug, notice, name, and walk back. What builds here at night becomes something you can carry forward. A quiet that doesn't end when morning comes. Let's look at what follows when you wake and step into the day. After, the quiet that travels with you. How does a few minutes in the garden change what you feel tomorrow? You wake with more room in your chest. The mind moves, but it has space to turn without scraping. Your mood sits steadier, like a cup set on a flat table. Words you say to yourself sound kinder, less sharp at the edges. You move through the first hour without rushing to catch up to the day. These are not just fleeting states. Meditation research calls them trait effects, lasting shifts in how you relate to experience, trained over time through gentle practice. Still, doubt speaks up. It says the calm you felt at night is a bedtime trick, and daylight will wash it out. Habits are strong. The old loops know their roots. They will test the new path. This is normal. Calm that holds in the sun is not luck. It's trained at night and sealed by small acts you repeat when dawn arrives. Here's the bridge. Mindfulness grows through simple moves done often. Breath, pause, return. You don't need long sits or strict rules. You need real contact with the gap, many times, in short rounds. Each round tells your body, this is home. Each return moves you from pushing to presence. When you weave these brief returns through daily tasks, meditation teachers call it informal practice, bringing awareness into ordinary moments beyond formal sitting. So we bring the garden into the day in plain ways. Between 2 emails, let 1 breath finish and rest for a beat before your fingers move. At a red light, exhale longer, notice the hinge of quiet, and let your shoulders slip down a notch. Before a hard choice, take a soft exhale and feel the pause open. You won't add time. You'll shift state. Think of these like stones across a creek. 1 stone won't get you far. A line of stones gives you a sure crossing. In the same way, these small pauses line up and carry you through busy hours without sinking into rush. You're not trying to pause all day. You're touching base, often and lightly. This steady touch builds concentration that holds under stress. In practice, we call it samadhi, but you can feel it as simple steadiness. Your attention doesn't fly off at the first ping. It stays with what you're doing. Over time, regular practice builds mental stability, the capacity to remain centered even when circumstances are challenging. When a surge comes, the mind knows how to sit down inside the surge and keep its seat. Notice the shift in how you meet others. A tense email lands and you don't fire back. You wait for 1 breath to end, rest in the beat, then write from a quieter place. A plan changes. You feel the first wave rise, then watch it pass before you speak. You respond rather than react. Mindfulness creates a response gap, the small space between stimulus and reaction where wisdom can guide your choice. Let's add a small morning check-in. Before you stand, feel 1 easy inhale. Let the exhale finish longer. Find the gap. Feel the quiet in that beat. Carry on. No fanfare, no score. Just a brief return to the garden soil before the day opens. You may not notice a dramatic shift at first. You will notice less friction. Edges smooth. Choices line up. The need to force fades. The gap becomes a habit of heart, a natural pause that visits on its own. Moving forward, we'll come back to the simple truth at the center of this practice. and why that small pause matters. Now let's gather what matters most. Conclusion. The quiet between thoughts is not empty, it's where your peace grows. In that small pause, you return to a steady rhythm. You feel held, not driven. Mindfulness traditions call this remembering, returning again and again to present moment awareness as the ground for inner peace and skillful action. If this resonated, please like and subscribe for more mindful insights. Share how the garden felt for you in the comments. Your note might help someone else find their center tonight. Carry one small pause into tomorrow. Let one breath finish. Rest for a beat. Then move. No force. Just a gentle return. A simple pause. A portable calm.